Hi, welcome to Barvotti's 40th live screening of Tools for Creatives. I am Phoebe Bradbury, and today I will be demonstrating some of the tools that I use every day in my art studio. I wouldn't want to be without them, and I find new uses for them all the time. There will be promotional offers during the program, and the promo codes will be active during the demonstration and for about half an hour after. The current time is 12 noon Central, January the 26th, 2022. Right now, the promotions are only available on amzn.to. So I'm going to do work during the show. Next here. Okay? All right. So I'm going to start by showing you some of the work we've done during the show. And this is what we ended with on Monday when we were here. And this is a painting that uses our mottlers and also gold paint, in this case, stainless steel paint. And it's kind of a copy of a series that we've been going through. Here it is with gold paint, and then we tried it again with stainless steel paint. I'm just showing you that to show that, like, when it was first drying, it was not quite as brilliant because the acrylics it take a while to clear out, and so that's that one. I'm going to take it out a little bit just so you get a view of the whole thing, and I'll take it right in to show you how precise the lines were using the mottlers. And in this case, I wasn't using just a regular mottler. I had used one that I had adapted especially for this purpose, and I will show you that later on. Okay, that's the first one. Okay, here was here's a picture of the picture that you saw being made to music and in the intro. And this one is done on butcher's paper, which has a slick plasticky side and a paper side. And it's perfect for making quick paintings and drawings and learning how to make your mark and relaxing and meditative painting, all those kinds of things. But it's not archival, and what I found with this is that I had to scan it, so I do have a digital record of it, because even though I only took about a minute or so to make it, I actually like the painting, and so we're going to keep it around. And here's an example of using, when we're talking about the mottlers, these are what I call mottlers. So just all of these were made with these. I believe this one was made with probably a 1-inch mottler. This is a small piece of Yupo paper. And it's cardstock, so it is archival. It would even be archival if it was much thinner stock. This could actually be sent in the mail. And I want to show you the detail that there is in these. Okay, so I'm going to zoom right in. And you can see the detail. So there's obviously some underpaintings and some overpaintings and that kind of thing. And this was all done this painting took less than a minute. And it's, you do this after a bit of practice, but it's one of the reasons why I say if you're going to start doing it, start with the plasticized butcher paper, and as soon as you're getting results that you like, you should probably consider turning to a more archival paper. So that's the blue card. Okay. This is one that I actually like quite a lot. And if you've been watching, oops, it's zooming by itself. I must have pushed a zoom button or something. I want to zoom out. That was funny. Okay, so on the way out one day, I thought, well, maybe just to be interesting, I'll just pick up a couple of the ones I used and use some. The paint I used was Payne's Gray, which is a very graphic, dark color. And I didn't even think about it. And when I finished, I thought, oh, this is a mess, and I put it aside. And then when I looked at it the next day, I thought, oh, yeah, I really like that. And it's about the strokes that you make and how you're feeling when you're doing stuff. So that's another one which is probably going to be digitalized. I don't do it to all of them. And this is my very favorite painting and one of my very favorite artists. She lives next door. And she did do this on the waxed butcher's paper originally, but I'm going to take it in and show you how good it. I should tell you a few things about Marina. Marina is, I think she's 5 years old. Previn, or is she 6? Oh, and she's either 5 or 6, and she lives next door on the beach in the Yucatan. She doesn't speak any English, or at least she pretends she doesn't speak it, but I think she understands it very well. Okay. From Marina? Oh, thank you, Vivian, for the comment. Miriam. Okay. We're going to get hooked up better here so that I can respond more directly to notes. And the thing about Marina is she lives on the beach and she has a wonderful time in the summer. She has 3 dogs, and she was very entranced with our little kitten that we had. It was about 1 year old, and her parents gave her a little gray kitten, and you can see for 5 years old she's done a wonderful job of getting the stripes in the kitten, the expression on the kitten's face, its little nose, its beautiful little black eyes and ears, and just the movement in the whole picture was really amazing to me. And when I look at art, what I see, because I like art that anybody does, not just the great masters. What I'm looking at is I feel like I have a little slice into Marina's world. I have a chance to look and see how she sees the world. And I was really grateful when she gave me a copy of this. So that's our art picture of other people that we're going to show. I'm going to try and choose paintings that I've come across when I'm teaching or that I've seen that I really, really like and enjoy. And this is very definitely right up there with those. Okay, here. Thank you, Marina. So this is the one we are going to leave with today on the outgo. It'll be a fast painting, and it's done on Yupo paper too, which means it's archival, can be sold. It will last for years as long as you look after it. And this is called Purple Domain. And I want to show you some of the, just 1 or 2 things here. First, I'm just going to go into it and zoom right in to show you how crisp the marks are in the background. And this was done just entirely with our tools. And some of the ones that we've modified to give parallel lines and things like that. But all of it is done with our tools. Here, I'm going to go out. And Previn's going to show you a quick video of this painting. Okay, so here we are. This is the full set of mottlers. We have right here mottlers that we sell individually and shapers which we send in packages of 5. So this is what we have available right now, but very, very shortly, probably within the next week, we will have some more, a lot more shapers available, different sizes. Right now we have the 3mm and the 7mm. So with the mottlers we have, first of all, I'm going to go over some of the characteristics of them, and following that I will actually demonstrate using them. So this is the 3.5 inch big mottler, and the reason we call them mottlers is because if this was a brush, because of the handle, it would be called a mottler. So it's a mottler type of handle. I just went out to get a piece of paper so that I can show it to you carefully. And the active area of this tool, the part that we use, and if you get it, that you will use, is this very sharp, straight blade here. And high quality silicone. It's got a wide base and comes to a sharp blade. And if they're looked after, something like this can last you for several years. I have some that I've had for several years, and they're still completely usable. So they have a ferrule, a metal ferrule, which though I've had them for several years, I've never seen it rust. The handle is a very it's a compacted plastic, probably a reused plastic, but it's very heavy and it's strong, and it doesn't split or break like a wooden handle would, and very easy to clean. These are very easy to clean. I usually just clean them with I keep a pail of damp rags, damp cloths, say that. They're not really rags. And I just clean them as I go, and I'll be demonstrating them as we go. I don't use water. The one thing about cleaning them is that you shouldn't use them with solvents. If you do use solvents, like with cold wax painting or with oils, then make sure that you always rinse them off, because the blades will, silicone will soften in solvents. And if you use them, just rinse them off and they'll be fine. They'll last for years just as well. It's just don't leave them sitting in solvents. Okay, so that's the 3 inch. That's the biggest one we have right now. And this is the 2.5 inch. Exactly the same construction, same quality, same handle. 2.5 inch, 2 inch, 1.5 inch, and 1 inch. What I want to show you about the 1 inch one, which is the smallest, is that it has exactly the same high quality blade, the same high quality, it's a medium firm silicone. It's just right for me, but I shouldn't say but, because it's just right for me. I like to use semi-fluid paints, but I use it for all of my paints, no matter what kind, and I only use acrylics. And so there's no skimping with this blade. It's a smaller version, or it's one of the smaller versions of the same tool, and often when you buy the smaller ones, they skimp on the quality, and so this is exactly the same high quality tool as the big 3 inch. Okay, what else do I have to say? So now I'm going to bring these other ones ahead in here, just to give you a chance. We're going to get a video that shows a close-up of these a little better, but I can actually probably go through all of them, and you will be able to see them here. Yeah. So these shapers, they are wooden handles. I don't leave them soaking in water or anything like that, so I don't have to worry about them splitting or anything like that. So they last for a long time. And honestly, I don't use these as much because I'm an abstract painter and I do paint large. So something like this, I would use if I needed it, but I don't use them that much. When I do small paintings or small pieces, I do use them just as much as the others. So I'm looking here I've got a reference sheet here, and the different, probably better with a piece of paper. Show you the chisel angle. This is called the angle chisel. I think it's in, is it, oh, I can see if it's in. I forget I now have my own monitor, and it allows me to look and see. So you can see that it's got a very sharp edge, very sharp edge, and it is angled. It's got a pointy end and soft sides that you can use for scraping there. So, and this is for creating precise marks, expressive strokes, and we're going to be doing lots of expressive strokes today. You can use it to apply masking fluid if you are working with watercolors, and you can use it to shape and smooth small areas of clay. Now, when I'm talking about this size, let's see if I can make it bigger. Make it really big. Zoom. Is that showing really well? Yeah. Okay, I have exactly the same ends in my little tiny 3mm ones. Here's one. See, it is. Is that showing? Is that showing up? I have to put my finger in for it to focus, maybe. Just a second, I'll try to get a focus. Now I'm going to. Where's my thumb? Nope. So I'm thinking, oh, there you can see it. So it's a little hard to focus on that little tiny thing there. But all the sets have the same selection of ends. So that was the angle chisel, and I just explained what that was for. And the flat chisel is like this. So, and it's true to its name. Oh, here we go again. It's a flat chisel. You can see across one end. And when we give the sizes, we're measuring across this end. So this one, these are 7mm. And so this one is 7mm across that end. And the ones that we're going to have in stock will be up to 10mm and go all the way down to, well, 3mm is the smallest one. So we'll have 10mm, 7mm, 4mm, and 3mm very shortly. But this is a little less than a centimeter along the edge. And that is the flat chisel, and it's, well, you can look at it and you can see how many different things you can do with it. Blend and mix paint, create flat even strokes, blend and smudge pastel. Then there's a cup chisel, which has a little bit more integral strength to it, so you can jab that end and use it for carving. And although it is the same medium heavy silicone, because of its shape, it's got a stronger end on it. So it's good for adjusting contours and edges, removing paint and carving clay, of course. The cup, that's the cup chisel. The round cup is very similar to the cup, and I haven't got it. Oh, put it near my thumb. There we go. So it's the same, very similar to the cup chisel, only it's rounded, and it's for removing heavy paint, controlling thick color, creating soft edges, and you can use these to blend charcoal or and pastels. And the final one, the taper point, is very simple. I've got a little bit of dirt on there, so I'm just going to leave it on there. Oh, I could just, no, it came off. Okay, and it's just got a very, it just comes to a little point. So also blending, it's very tiny, so you would be looking in very small areas, applying, removing, and carving paint, creating linear strokes, creating broad, forceful marks. That's true of all of them, actually. It's just the kind of mark that they create differ from one to the other. So where do I go with that now? I'm going to introduce Sandy. Okay. Here we go. I'd like to introduce Sandy Welsh, an online artist on Instagram. She will be painting with a 1-inch modeler, and that's this one. And then she will do some scratching through with the 3-inch modeler. Thank you, Sandy Welsh.
Let's see. I'm going to go back to my little rubber spatula here. She had that big ball of dark. And then we'll go over it again with a lighter blue, but this will be underneath. So are we getting to look like this ocean? See? This is really cool. Where do you get them? Oh, I ordered them from Amazon. They look like, where's my big one? I think they're called shapers. I got 2 of them. I got the bigger one. They're not expensive either. I got this one. I think if you just put in paint shapers, this will come up. They're nice, and you can use the tips if you want to sort of scratch out. Yeah, they had a couple different sizes, but I like them. It's the first time I've started using them.
Okay, this is a painting I did while I was at art school. Oops. You can see this scraping through in the red at the bottom. Now let's see if I can get my finger going in the right place. Nope, no, I have to get further over here. Up, yeah. Anyway, at the bottom and the yellow bands at the top, you can see those. That are made by scraping through the dark layers into the yellow layers below. This painting is also covered with a layer of horizontal and vertical fluorescent green lines poured across the surface. A lot of my paintings in art school had that for some reason. In the next demo, I will be showing you how some of these effects are achieved. So, I'm back, good. Okay, so this is the basic demo. Let's see if I'm zoomed in properly. And let's see, I've got the 5 modelers here, and I'm just going to go through exercise on the butcher paper to show you some of the marks that they can make and how much fun we can have. So I'm going to start, well, let's start with red. Oops, let's find out where I have to find where my center of my screen is. So I have just about as much fun squirting that water out as or not water, the paint out as I do painting, so bear with me. And I've got I'm going to start with a 3-inch modeler because then that gives me kind of a surface to demonstrate some of the smaller shapers on. So here we are. So what I've just done is I've covered a large space very, very evenly with just a few strokes, and I've gone over it twice just to make sure, but it seems to be there. And so I could scrape through here, and it would be a 3-inch scrape. And when you see the 3-inch scrape, what you're looking at here is you're looking at the mass tone of the paint and what the paint would look like if you applied it very thinly. Not the way it would look like if, in the case of red, you would, if you added white to it, it would turn pastel. This is not a pastel. This is just a lighter tone of exactly the same color. So it's not really a true pink. So that gives you some information about the paint. That's very easy to get at when you have these lovely mottlers to work with. Okay, and so the other thing is, well, okay, 3 inches wide, what can you do with that? Square things? Well, you certainly can do square things, but you can make a lot of different kind of marks with the 3-inch wide one. You can make thin ones, thick ones, you can make circular ones. So we're limited a little bit here because I've decided to keep a small square so that we can go and look into it later. The other thing about the 3-inch mottler is probably it's the fastest way to clean excess paint off a board, off your palette, or off of just about anything that's will take this flexible edge. So I'm just going to demonstrate that a little bit. I don't want to lose all this lovely paint, so I'm going to try and maintain it at this side. So you would scrape and, at an angle. And normally, if I wanted to keep it really clean, I would just wipe it off. But I do want to keep it clean, and I don't want any ridges, so I'm going to wipe it off a little bit. Oop, take it over. And overlap, of course. Whoops. I didn't push that hard on that one edge, so I'm going to go again. And I'm going to go again. Oops. And so that basically gives you a very, very clean surface. And I'm just going to show you how much, you've really done most of the work with the mottler. If you were working on Yupo paper, it would have gone right down. This Naphthol Crimson, which is the color I'm using, it is a transparent modern paint, but I don't think I have it mixed quite as liquidy as some of my other ones, so it's sticking a bit more. So let's look at. I did show you a few of the marks that you can make with it. And as I love these sort of flag-like marks that, anyway, I can demonstrate this stuff for hours, and you would probably get pretty bored with it. So I'm going to move on to another one. Now I'm going to demonstrate cleaning this off completely. I did use this one piece before, but here we go. So I don't have a lot of water sitting on my desk or on my worktop. I tend to knock those things over, and then everything gets mucky. So I work with a pail full of cloths that I've rinsed and cleaned every day. It sounds like a lot of work, but actually I feel good about not using paper towel or those kinds of things. And these actually do an excellent job of cleaning off the tools as I work. And I use them when I'm mixing paint, so they're absolutely clean. Didn't use a lot of water and that sort of thing. So because I think this is a little dry for what I usually use, I just added a little bit of water there. I'm picking up the 2.5 inch here, and we're just going to mix it around. You'll notice where I dropped the water, it sort of left little marks, so that's to be expected. And maybe I'll add a juicier color, I don't know. So of course here we can lay down paint just like we could with the 3-inch. We can scrape through. We can make circles. We can make all kinds of really nice expressive marks. A lot of my expressive marks tend to be rectangular. For some reason, I like that sort of thing. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this aerolite yellow. No, not aerolite. This is Indian yellow. And this is, these are all professional grade paints. And by that I mean that when I buy it, if you buy one that's a professional grade, then you know what chemicals make it up. And you also have a pretty good idea what color you're going to be able to make. And if you want to repeat and find that color again, you need to know that you used, for example, a an Indian yellow to get it, because you won't ever get the same color if you use a Hansa yellow, which is not quite as red. So this is a little bit like the painting. Is this the one that you're going to see on the outside as we leave the painting? Oh, do you want to run it now? Okay. Sure. Preben's going to run a painting very similar to this one. I think it's on Yupo paper. Yeah. Okay. There you Is that it? Okay. Okay, so we're back. So that's an example of what you can do with something like that. We were going to show that on the way out today. Were we, or did we? Oh, no, we weren't going to show that one. So everything is on schedule and going to be happening in the right area. So this is just sort of working towards something like that. So far we've used the 3" and the 2.5". And they're both clean because we just wiped them with a damp cloth. And this is the 2", yeah. And the one you saw coming in, is it the green one that they saw? Well, this whole painting was done with only the 2", the 2" modeler. That's what I had in my hand, and at that point I was demonstrating what each modeler could do by itself. So that was, as you can see here, very definitely a 2" modeler. Okay, so I don't think I'll bother demonstrating. I can just show you some of the things that are happening in these, what you might do with something like this, since I have the 2" modeler in my hand. And I can also go do, you know, this, when you have these areas here, you can inscribe in them, and with the corners. But the other thing is, you don't have to just use these. You can use these ones as well, the shapers. You notice in this case, I've got a very delicate little worm coming out there, or I think I'm going to demonstrate this on a, right now this paper is getting a little bit dry, so I'm going to change the color, and I'm going to change. Okay. I can work with one of my favorites. I can make sure I got the right side up, because once I tried to do this with the paper side up and it didn't work too well. So here we have a Payne's gray, and we were working with this wonderful red, and we will leave the red on, and we'll just play with this a little bit. Am I in the right area? Nope, I'm a little high, so I'll go a little low. The reason I like Payne's gray so much is it's a very graphic, it's almost like working with charcoal. And so I'm just making a little square again. And the thing about Payne's gray is the mass tone of Payne's gray is almost black, but when you scrape it out, it's more like a, well, it's certainly a gray, but it's also got kind of a, I think of it as sort of like an India ink, slightly bluish color. So it is made by a lot of blues. Okay, so that's scraping through with the 2". Let's play a bit with, make some 2" marks here. Oops. As you can see, the development of marks, you don't really always know what's going to happen. So it takes a lot of playing, a lot of fooling around to get to figure out what these things really do. And I think it's a lot of fun myself. Does this work? Yes. No. This is work. Yes. This is work. This is my work. Okay. So as you can see, it's very graphic. It goes all the way black, all the way, and then it's got the midtones of the grays and stuff like that. So a little bit of expressive marks. Here's some more. I'm going to show you some expressive marks that I am planning to use when I paint my dog. And my dog is what is she? A blue heeler, they say, because we don't really know. We got her from a rescue shelter. But her coat is sort of a bluey gray, and she's got a bandana around her eyes, like it's like she's the Lone Ranger dog or something like that. And she's got sort of a golden beard and golden eyebrows that sort of stick out like a big ruff. So you can see here, this little paintbrush is giving me a very good, it looks like hair. And if I use the smaller one, the really teeny one, I can get it even more delicate. So I've been planning, and I'm still planning. I need to get the. I'm not the type of painter that paints realistically, but I do want to paint Iris, and I want her to have little black eyes, and then and be able to see her there somewhere. So I'm planning on using these brushes for that. So an example of textures that you can get through this. And the other thing that I use these for is for when I am painting, when I'm doing poured paintings, which I experimented with for several years. And I use these for like the final minute of a poured painting is where the artist goes in and changes a few things. And so it's not just, gravity that made the painting. I have an example here. So here's a poured painting here. Whoops, I don't know whether I've got it in. Yeah. I could actually probably bring it a little closer. But these marks here, all of these straggly marks, they were made by me. Like there's the pour, and then there's what you do to the poured painting. This is not a very good place to show this because I can't lay it down without getting everything mucky. But I can lay it down there like that. And you can see, you can zoom right in, and you can see the things, all the little things. And for those, I did use these very tiny 3mm tools. And this is an 8x8 inch poured painting with an epoxy finish. So it's done. I think that's the best one I've got there. Oh, I've got this one. Here's another one. And I will go out here. Oops. There we go. This is also an 8-inch painting with an epoxy finish. And the name of it is called New World. But what I want to show you, the marks that I made using these, was these marks. Here, let's make sure that, oh, I know, I can also, there, that color's better now. These little marks here of this creature, the name of this is New World. This creature or spaceship or whatever it is, were made by just drawing the paint out like this very quickly within a few seconds before the paint's set, from when the paint is poured till the moment the paint's set, the artist has probably a minute, maybe a minute or two, to make a few changes to turn it into something that they created rather than it was just happened. And that's kind of why I really like doing poured paintings. Okay. And why I like these little tools. Even though they're very, very tiny, they're a lot of fun. Okay. One I haven't done. Okay. Well, that was interesting. I just folded that over, but I think I better cover up that part there because I don't want to get paint. Okay, so goodbye, Iris. We're saying goodbye to you. I will. I'll zoom out in a second as soon as I get this done here. Okay. Zoom out. Okay. And I'm going to take the 1 inch, probably the most versatile of them, and the one that most people usually start with is the 1 inch, and then they fall in love with these, and then they get more, the other sizes. But the 1 inch does everything the others do, except it does it on a smaller scale. And I'm just going to do a sort of like a basket weaving thing here. And there's going to be pictures of the, showing through the marks of the hairy dog. We're going to be showing through here. How are we doing for time? We're doing great. Okay. So where's Iris? So so the basket weaving thing that I usually show, because it shows how repetitive marks can become really quite fascinating. So I'm going to go over this one and under this one. I'm weaving. If you've ever if you've ever woven, you'd know what I'm doing. I think this one has to, yeah, that's under. So, and over this one and under that one. Okay. So I'm going to go under this one, over this one. And you can use different colors of paint, and you can start with a different color background and have a lot of fun with this. Just play with this, get used to using the brushes, the mottlers, the shapers. Oh, this is one of my better ones. Under, over. Okay. And you've got little bits of Iris's hair hanging out all over the place there. So that's the 1 inch mottler. Can be used for many, many things. Its size makes it easy to use it in tight spots. And it's just unbelievable how many places I use these, but besides painting. Yeah. There we go. I once mentioned that they could be used for decorating cakes, and I ended up in the cake decorating area of the. But I wouldn't use them for decorating cakes because I don't know whether they're. I'm pretty sure they're perfectly safe, but I'm not trying to market their food grade qualities. So that's the mottler on the butcher paper, inexpensive butcher's paper, and some of the marks of these other little tools here. As I said before, they make great. They're great for making textures. This is still quite wet, so I can make more texture here. And where's that other little tiny one? Now, this is a hairy basket. Or it's a basket full of dog hair, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, your imagination or mine. So that brings to a close the section where I do a basic demo of all 5 mottlers. And the next thing I'm going to do, I want to here I'm going to show a short video of where artists use this. It's just sort of a list of the different uses. And then I'd like to introduce Julie Pritchard, and she is another online artist on Instagram, and she's going to tell you about her favorite tools right now.
Are paid for by me. I am not receiving any paid sponsorship for any of these mentions. Next up, from Barvotti.com are these rubber scraping brushes. I really like these to add texture and to smooth paint on my surface. They come in a variety of sizes. These two are my most favorite tools right now.
So am I back? I'm back. Okay. So I've been trying to get these programs a little more relaxed and follow more like an improv model. I seem to do better if I'm not planning everything exactly. So if things don't go really smoothly, we just have to say yes and continue. Okay, here we go. This is an opaque blue-green on Yupo paper, and I'm going to maybe play with some of the tools here. Oops, I've got a monitor here, and I'm showing it up to the monitor instead of showing it to you. So this is one of the tools we have, and we've made these often out of ones that might have a little chip out of them, but I often, because I very rarely get chips out of my tools, I have actually taken brand new ones and cut edges. Now, it's important to me as an artist that I don't make them really regular, because I don't like regular things. If you're a person who likes things really regular, then you might want to, measure them and all that sort of thing. So I've got a variety of here. I've got one that I really was very careful about. Unfortunately, I made it with a substandard silicone, which is rather stiff, that has a wooden brush handle. So I haven't had this as long as my other ones, but it certainly isn't lasting. But it's still good. I don't throw out tools. If I can use them, I keep them. So, and here's one that's more regular. So we're going to play with this, and the way I have been doing this is I just go till it's acceptable to me. You might not like it. Also, you might have liked it earlier before I decided to go further. So here we're just going to go like that, and we're going to go like that. We're going to say, okay, what else? What else have you got? And I'm going. So I really like to go faster so that I can't actually hear those voices that say that. So I'm going to just keep going here. I may add other colors, and I may not. I love this color, but it's kind of boring on its own. So here we go. I'm going to take out some of the stuff I used the other day for one of these paintings. It was that silver one that I put the silver marks through, and I'm going to put some of that on. Just see. That just might make it even more boring. And it may turn out putting a sheen in the paint, but it's very unlikely that it will with this particular blue, because this is an opaque color, and when you've got metallics with opaque, generally the opaque color will destroy the shiny part. So I'm not really too hopeful about what I did just there. Let's play. Let's play. So sometimes it's just a matter of getting enough color on so that then you can fool around, or getting enough. And this is a pretty color, but for me, it's not really got enough. I like my darks darker and my lights lighter, so I'm just going to play with it a little bit. Just like I would never make an all yellow painting, I would probably never make a all pale green painting. So you're actually getting to see how fast I really work. And when I show those videos, I speed them up, because who's got the time? Okay, so what I just did about it, and I've got probably way too much paint on there, is I'm going to add some of this paint spray, because it is transparent, but it's also going to make the darks darker. And we'll just. And often this kind of experimenting I do, like I start my painting day and I play a bit just to warm up, and then I haven't really had a chance to do this because I don't have my full studio going, but it's going to be going probably within a few months, because I need to get an air conditioner. I do live in the tropics. We do have an air conditioner in this room, but so what I would normally do, I would warm up, and I learned that habit from an online painter. Well, I don't know whether he's online, but he's a traveling teaching painter, Bob Burridge, insists that you should warm up, and I agree. I think you should warm up before you start your main stuff. And then I would do that, and then when I have to put my stuff away, which I always do because I want to be able to come back and start again, that is when I'm most creative, because there's nothing on the line. I'm not working on my favorite piece. I'm just playing with the leftover paint of the day. And so that's when the magic happens often. So I enjoy that part. And that's the part we're at right now. So I'm just playing with. Did I already do one? Is this my first one? Yeah. Let's see. We're pretty close to the end. So as you saw in some of those other paintings, as I was making these swirly things, and which seems very appropriate when you're doing with a hot pink that looks like a flamingo in the land of flamingos. Then you do a painting that's called Flamingo Land with all these beautiful swirls. I don't know, maybe this can be a fish painting. Let's play. Let me do something else with it. Now, because it's right to the edge, which is the way I like to do these, then it does look quite different there than it does, for example, here. Now you're starting to see what the painting really is. I've pushed it out over the edge. Now, I'm looking at this and saying, is this done, or should I do it one more time? So I'm going to get a piece of paper that will allow me to do it one more time. It's very hard to do it on. You can't really put it back on the same piece of paper because you got all that stuff smudged. So is that done? I don't know. Let's see. because we have so much paint, we can actually go back and do it again. I beg your pardon? Is it up a bit? Is that better? Yeah. Getting it? Thank you. Oops. Okay. Oops. So now we're starting to get sort of a very interesting darker teal blue on here. So I'm not going to use that one. So today I seem to be thinking a little more than I normally do. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some of these through here and some of these through here. Spaghetti paintings. Now what I like to do when I'm painting with this stuff, which I often don't remember until after I've left an edge like that, is I like to have that edge go right over the edge. See how that's sort of like that too over there. So it doesn't look like a pile of spaghetti that's cut off, but I don't know. Is it spaghetti? So now we're sort of at the edge where we might do something a little different. We might come in and go. Mm, 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 mm. Are these hard marks to make? No, but I did practice them. I practiced them for 40 days because this is our 40th show. So my first ones weren't as good as that. Let's put it that way. Do I want to go this way? And also the other thing is when you practice you have more choice because you actually know what you might be able to do. Is that more interesting or less? I think it's actually a little bit less interesting. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to go a little over some of these things, maybe different ways. Oops. It's funny. It's funny how when you look at these things and you say, oh, that bothers me, but that doesn't bother me. Why does that bother me? One here, no. One there, no. I kind of dislike that thing there, but I kind of want to bring it down a bit further. So, oops. I don't want it to look like I didn't plan it. Or I don't, at the same time, I don't want it to look like I planned it, and I don't want it to look like I didn't plan it. So it's kind of a particularly, see, I got myself into a little mess here because I went and changed something on the surface. And so what I'm going to do here, which is something that I haven't done before, is see if I can actually use one of those things to sign my name to the bottom, because I'm happy with it the way it is. That's a little bit heavy. Let's just bring it down a little bit more. I don't know. Oops. Okay. So there it is. I actually got sort of a facsimile of my name in the corner. And that is our Yupo painting for the day. I don't know what I would call it, but that's it for the day. Oops, where can I put it? Where can I put my painting? There it goes. Okay. Ooh, that's not bad. So Preman is now going to show you a little video on how the how the products are used and what mediums they are used in. In case you were wondering what this painting was behind me when we first started the show, it is an enlargement of one of my small poured paintings. And in case you were wondering. Thank you for joining us today. You can find us here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Central to do demonstrations and answer your questions. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Friday.
I'm going to go back to my little rubber spatula here. She had that big ball of dark. And then we'll go over it again with a lighter blue, but this will be underneath. So are we getting to look like this ocean? See? This is really cool. Where do you get them? Oh, I ordered them from Amazon. They look like, where's my big one? I think they're called shapers. I got two of them. I got the bigger one. They're not expensive either. I got this one. I think if you just put in paint shapers, this will come up. They're nice, and you can use the tips if you want to sort of scratch out. Yeah, they had a couple different sizes, but I like them. It's the first time I've started using them.
All of these products are paid for by me. I am not receiving any paid sponsorship for any of these mentions. Next up, from Barvotti.com are these rubber scraping brushes. I really like these to add texture and to smooth paint on my surface. They come in a variety of sizes. These two are my most favorite tools right now.